But the days where one man behind the wheel of a car can make a difference are over.
All right, guys, I just got back from the theater and I just saw oh, hang on. Before we continue, let me take off my sunglasses. I'm so sorry. Forgot to take them off. I was at the theater watching Fast X and this guy had a flashlight alert mode on like throughout the entirety of the movie. So I kind of needed these. Okay, PSA over. Let's go ahead and talk about Fast X. I am not a Fast and the Furious fan whatsoever. I've seen movies here and there sprinkled in. I've seen the first two like a long time ago when I was a little wee lad. And then I've seen like 7, 8, 9. I actually just saw 9 the other night to catch up to watch this one just to get some clarity. And after watching this movie, that movie just feels totally irrelevant. Fortunately though, in this case, Fast 10, it was a lot better than Fast 9. Now, before we start breaking down plot details, talking about this movie, I want to let you guys know, the audience, that we are not going to be talking about spoilers in this video whatsoever. So if you guys want to stick around, watch the video before you go and watch the movie, feel free to stay around. Or if you want to come back after the movie, all is well there too. Dom and his fam, they are being hunted down by Jason Momoa's character. I might as well just call him the Joker because his character is freaking psychotic, and I kind of liked it, and I also kind of didn't like it. It kind of felt like Jason Momoa was taking Ezra Miller's playbook a little too seriously. The whole gang, yeah, they're split up. They go on this reconnaissance mission, turns out to be a false mission, and they are now being hunted down by the agency as well as Jason Momoa's character. And they all have to try to reunite and basically save the day, save their family, and get through this hellhole as quickly and efficiently as possible. I use the term efficiently as ironically as possible because nothing about this movie is efficient. There's explosions, there's mayhem, there's literal murder. I don't know how these main characters actually get away with a lot of what they do because they actually murder quite a bit of civilians throughout this movie. Not only this movie, but prior movies as well. It's kind of weird to follow these guys and think they're the heroes, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm just not a big Fast and the Furious fan, because the action, there's no weight behind the action for me. Now granted, to be fair, I have not seen all of the movies. The amount of movies I've seen, I feel like I should have some kind of emotional connection with these characters. So that way when the action kicks up, I feel tense, I feel tight, my muscles tighten up, and I'm like, oh no, that didn't just happen. But I just don't care. In fact, there's a scene in this movie that's really supposed to make you care. But after watching a lot of what happens in the other movies, and especially with what happens towards the end of this movie, you just don't buy into it. You don't buy into the suspense because there's no real stakes throughout any of these movies. Now, that being said, this is probably the first movie of the Fast franchise where I'm actually like, okay, I'm walking out of the theater and I kind of actually really enjoyed that ending a lot, more than I thought I would. One thing that shocked me throughout this film, again, back to Jason Momoa, he absolutely killed it as a villain for me. I was both on board and off board with his character at the same time. This is absolutely just him going Insano style, and I kind of bought into it, and I thought it was pretty unique, especially with some of the scenes they set up to establish this character. I thought to myself, oh, this guy's messed up. And then like the next scene happens and I'm like, oh, this guy is really f***ed up. And with the way the movie ends, it's just, it's perpetually ramped up. It doesn't feel like Jason Momoa, like any of the other previous villains. It doesn't feel like he's an unlockable character that's going to join the family later on. This guy is literally wacko, like, okay, I can't whistle with my Invisalign in, but you guys get the point. Also, we got to see Brian in this movie. I wasn't aware that was possible or that they would even want to do that or if that's even ethical. It's such a weird thing to see, like, this feels so morbid to talk about, but a dead actor being portrayed in a modern movie. But yeah, it's just kind of like a weird feeling. I don't like it. Now, I would go ahead and talk about the other characters, but everyone is literally the same as they were in the prior movies.
Shoot Tiny Tej!
Tiny Tej?
No, we never agreed on that.
Whether it's just them bantering or being in an action scene, they're just an enjoyable presence to watch on film. Fast X, it's a lot more toned down than Fast 9, but at the same time, it's also toned up a lot, so it really tells you how crazy Fast 9 was. But Fast X, it felt a little bit more toned down, a little bit more easier to follow, more fun to follow too. A lot of the characters had their own like miniature arcs that were very enjoyable. They were pretty flashy, they were cool, and and the filmmakers actually chose a lot of bold directions for these characters to go in. Some other things I liked about the movie: the camera work, phenomenal. Great aerial work. I don't know if it was FPV or helicopter shots or whatnot. I assume it's FPV, especially for those tight corridor shots, but you don't really know because those elements could have been composited later in using CGI. But regardless, camera work was clean. It was great. You could see a lot of the actions. There were a lot of cuts, but I do feel like that's just the Fast franchise's signature move, is to cut around a lot and to show all the action. I feel as though a lot of these scenes throughout this film could have been cut. They could have been scrapped so easily because by the end of the movie, a lot of those scenes don't actually really matter. It doesn't really play into the primary story. And this movie could have easily been like a 2-hour movie. There's honestly 30 minutes of content here that we don't really need to see as an audience. I'm gonna go ahead and give Fast X a 7 out of 10. I think that's a fair score given that the camera work was impeccable, the effects were really fun, the action was fun, the characters were enjoyable, mostly enjoyable. There were a few character decisions in this film, comparatively to the other films, that I just don't fully agree with. It really makes a lot of the prior films feel irrelevant, and I just can't get on board with that. Otherwise, this movie would be a 7.5 or even an 8 if they could just stick the landing and if they could make decisions and just stick to it. My God, stick to your decisions. That's all I want. At the end of the day, I just want to feel like these movies have some weight to them. And unfortunately, they don't. But guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for my movie review of Fast X. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. All the engagement helps out tremendously with the channel. Did you guys see the movie? What did you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. Are you interested in watching it? I'm very interested in talking about this movie, especially with a lot of the issues I had regarding the film. Also, if you guys are new here, be sure to hit subscribe. We talk about movies every single week, and it's a good time. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Austin, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.